Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Veronica Marie, and I am your emotional wellness coach today. I want to talk a little bit about peace as it relates to regrets and mistakes. So, give me a second to share the video, get a pen and paper because you might want to take some notes, and we'll go in. All right, so here we are now. This is a very informal talk. I just want to discuss this in an informal way. If you need more strategy or more information, remember I offer one-on-one coaching on my website at veronicamarie.com. If you're on YouTube, I have some free groups on Facebook. This live is associated with my free group called Path to Peace and also Healing Anxiety. On my website, you can sign up for coaching. And I have a variety of things for you there. This video will be part of my subscription app. So I've decided to take a lot of my videos and make them available in a private way. And I'm testing it right now. So the subscription is $5.99. You can get in on that if you want some of the videos that are not on YouTube. I'm going to start putting my TikTok lives on there as well. All right, so let's just talk a little bit, mosey our way through these topics of regrets and mistakes, because this is a real experience. We all have done things that resulted in consequences that we don't like. That could be relational in our romantic relationships, that could be financially. This could be in the area of education or family relationships, or just the general path that we've chosen in life. And the reason that we feel regret is because mistakes are real. We believe that mistakes are things that we could have avoided. And when you believe that you could avoid something, the next logical thing is to beat up on yourself about it or ponder on it, called rumination, on all the things you could have done differently. But that too is an illusion. I'm not saying what you are experiencing is not real. That's not what I'm saying. What you are experiencing is real. But if you want to shift out of how you are experiencing the results of whatever decisions, then you're going to have to shift your mindset. And when I say mindset, I'm not talking about positive thinking. Positive thinking here won't work. Positive thinking does not carry a strong enough charge to replace thoughts of regrets and mistakes. What I am talking about is changing what you believe. What you think is a product of what you believe. So I would like to first talk about the belief system that is causing the suffering. Because you can't just change your belief system. It just doesn't work like that. It's subconscious. Your belief systems are subconscious. You're very aware of your thoughts, but most of the time not your belief systems. And that's why positive thinking, affirmations most likely won't work in this scenario. What you believe is a collection of thought frequencies that you have accumulated over time. Over time, you've learned to think about the world a certain way, to think about scenarios, situations, people, behavior, yourself a certain way. And as you continue to think in that certain way, that belief system gets stronger in its vibration. As the belief system strengthens in its vibration, so does the frequency of the thoughts produced by it So does the intensity of the emotion experienced because of the thoughts. I hope that makes sense. And so let's say you try to use positive thinking against a strong belief system. A positive thought has not had enough time, and neither has it had enough experience in your life to be a strong vibration. So it's no match for your belief system that has been there and reinforced over time. So what we need to do is begin to deactivate the old program, and we continue to do that, the old belief system, until it no longer affects you in the same way. Sometimes it goes completely extinct quickly, and sometimes it takes time. So we need to deactivate that belief system by looking at the ways that belief system is not true. Then we apply truth. How we apply truth is we practice truth. We practice truth when the situation is happening, but most importantly, we practice truth every day when the situation is not happening, so that when the situation does happen, you have an opportunity to be aware and choose mindfully. So in the case of mistakes and regrets, in order to move in regret and experience what regret feels like in you, you have to believe that there is a such thing as mistakes. Words are super important here because words carry a lot of meaning in the undercurrent. Some people may think there's nothing wrong with thinking, oh, sure, we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But that belief system produces regret. Even though almost everybody thinks about life in terms of right and wrong, good and bad, mistakes and right choice, that doesn't make it healthy, and it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you because as long as you believe that there are mistakes, you're going to experience regret until you either stop experiencing the consequence of the said mistake, or until you deprogram the thought process about mistakes. Okay, so let's talk about what's true. What's true is the word mistake we are applying to situations that involve learning something that we didn't know. Now, sometimes people say, I knew that, but I still made the mistake. There's a difference in knowing a thing in your intellect and knowing a thing within your being and being conscious of that. That's different. You do things because you think things, and you think things because you believe things. Okay. And so knowing something is not the same as believing it. And knowing something in your intellect is not the same as having it deeply assimilated into your being. So the fact that you chose a thing says that that concept, that thought, that belief was not deeply assimilated within you, even though you had it in your intellect. I hope that makes sense. And so knowledge is never enough. Knowledge is the first part of becoming, but knowledge is never enough. Here's the proof of all of the thousands of people who suffer with various illnesses. They know that they need to do certain things, but they don't. Knowledge is never enough. How many times have you known that you needed to run to the bathroom before you took a trip and you didn't? And you got a result. Okay. So knowledge is never enough. What we will always act by is our belief systems, because our belief systems are deeply assimilated in our being. And just like a positive thought is no match for your strong belief system, because you've been practicing that belief system over time, knowledge is not enough to come against a belief system. at all. Neither one of these things are effective at completely coming out of a way of being. They're tools. But the initial step is to recognize that the belief system is governing your vibration, running your show, producing the thoughts, and causing you to feel a way. So now let's go back to mistakes. I do not believe there are mistakes. Now, every now and then, I will slip into my old program and call something a mistake. But I am still deeply assimilating the truth more and more every day, which is mistakes are what we're referring to situations where we're learning and assimilating as a mistake. We see it as something done wrong. But the truth is, it's the only thing that we could have done because we didn't know. At any given time, the thing that we do is the thing that we have to do because it's all that we can do based upon our current vibration, our current knowledge, our current state of mind. All of that matters. So it's not true that you could have chosen better, done better, did something differently. Even though you wish you had done something differently, it's not true that you could have. You couldn't have because you didn't have the same information that you have now. Let's say I walk out of my door and I think that it's not raining outside. So I walk out, I see that it's raining. I can go back and get an umbrella. That wasn't a mistake. Or let's say I didn't know it was going to rain that day. So I left the umbrella at home and got caught in the rain. That wasn't a mistake either. I simply didn't know that it was going to rain. We have to let this sink in real deep because that belief in mistakes and failure is so strong. It won't let you process this quickly. You got to think on this and chew on this and apply it to different situations and see the truth in it. One of the universal laws says that out of the infinite amount of things that could happen in every moment, only one thing can happen. That's the way the universe is designed on this time-space reality, that only one thing can happen. That means it's not a mistake. That means that is the thing that needs to happen. Now we have to look at our belief system about this life. If you think life is about getting things right, then you're going to experience regret and acknowledge things as mistakes. But if you realize this life is about evolution, and evolution is a journey of becoming more and more of yourself as you apply truth, then you realize that in that moment when you made the situation, you couldn't have chosen anything else because you didn't have enough truth. And that's part of being human. We can't know everything at one time. We don't know. This life is about evolution. Another way to look at evolution is this journey is about learning how to be a spirit living in a human form. In order to experience this time-space reality, you have to have a body, you have to have senses. So you come here for experiences, but we've been trained to think that those experiences are unnecessary or to be avoided. It starts when we're little. When we're little, making a mistake because you didn't know could result in a pop on the hand or the butt or a timeout. You learn that making mistakes can be the difference between freedom and punishment. You learn to try to get things right, but if anybody is honest, we've all had this feeling of we can't seem to get things just the way we want them. We can't seem to get things right. You know why? Because right is subjective and therefore it's an illusion. What is true, what is objective when you look from universal truth is we all have things that we don't know and we are all learning those things. It's a part of life. It's a part of being on a timeline. There's a part that has to come before and a part that has to come after. And the part that came before is usually the part with the least amount of knowledge. Sometimes we look back on our past with our current mind. We cannot look back on the past and judge our past self with the mind that we have now, because that past self didn't have the mind that we have now. It's like condemning a 9-year-old for not understanding trigonometry, or condemning your 9-year-old self for not knowing how to write a college essay. That just doesn't make sense. You didn't know it, right? Well, this applies to all of life, but we have been conditioned to avoid punishment, avoid consequences, but nobody taught us the positive side of learning, how to enjoy a process, how to celebrate our becoming, how to notice how far we've come. We haven't been programmed like that. So what I'm doing is addressing your old belief systems. Think on that for a time. I'm going to come back either later today or tomorrow to give you part 2 of this. Right now, this is enough. I assure you right now that this is enough to think about. Life is about evolution. Recap. Life is not about getting things right or wrong. There was nothing you could have done differently. That's the truth. There was nothing you could have done differently in the possibility realm. Now, when you look in the infinite realm, of course, you could have done an infinite amount of things. But remember, a universal truth is only the thing that you did was the thing that needed to happen. It's the only thing that could have been done. I hope this makes sense. So I want you to ponder on that, write about it, generate some questions on it. If you need one-on-one coaching because the gravity of what you see as a mistake is too heavy to really think about on your own, I can and will support you. You can sign up for sessions on my website at veronicamarie.com, or the groups you're associated in. Just send me a message. And that is it for today. I hope something I said today helped you shift that old belief system. Now it's time for you to think about this, apply this, write about it, talk about it. Think of scenarios in your brain and tell your past self the truth about it. You really couldn't have done anything different because you were evolving. We got to learn how to be gentler in our approach with ourselves. We don't know that, so we're learning it. Okay. There's a lot I could say about this, but I'm going to cut it right here and I'll come back later and talk about what else you can do. My name is Veronica Marie, and it is my pleasure to help you live a healthy and a happy life.